And now the leader of the newly formed political economic freedom fighters, Julius Malema, joins me now. Good evening, Mr. Malema, and thanks for coming in. Why are you launching EFF?
We looked at the political situation in South Africa and we asked the question, what is to be done? And many people have made a call that we need an alternative radical voice which will advance left politics.
Words like revenge, vendetta have been thrown about. You would have heard these. Do you feel backstabbed by the ANC, and in particular by President Jacob Zuma, the man whom you once fought for so passionately?
No, the things happen for a reason in the revolution, and at times you get disappointed, but you must have the ability to analyze the material condition and appreciate why certain things happen the way they do, and move on. And we don't have any revenge or bitterness. We are talking about certain principles which will advance. And anger and revenge is not part of those principles.
You famously said once, Mr. Malema, that you would lay down your life for Mr. Zuma. Do you feel embarrassed by that now in hindsight, in retrospect?
It was necessary at the time. It was a commitment which we managed to pull through. And we are very proud that we played such a role, in the struggle in our country. And things turned the way they did. No, I wouldn't do it again.
For someone that you felt passionately about?
The killing for President Zuma at the time was a demonstration to the commitment to the cause. It was not a literal meaning which we over-explained even at the time.
Let's talk about the two of your policies that the EFF is talking about very seriously. It's right at the top of your list: nationalization, land expropriation. When we talk about Julius Malema, nationalization is the first word that pops up, and it, as you have admitted, conceded, it is, it's not well received by people. What's the EFF's vision on how these two could be implemented, gradually or spontaneously?
Look, investors just want a very clear policy. As long as you're not zigzagging on your policy, you're saying we're going to expropriate without compensation, they look at that and say, how do we generate income out of this? Can we make a profit? We're not talking about wholesale nationalization. We're discussing the method and how it can be carried forward on the 26th and 27th July in Soweto with ordinary people on how best can we benefit from our land and our mineral resources without being disruptive to the economy.
So for now, mining bosses don't have to be scared. People who are on large tracts of land don't have to be scared. What I'm saying is there is this element of scaremongering that
they must be very worried if they are not willing to share. Anyone who's not willing to share, this land is too big. All of us can share this land and still continue to be productive without anyone, losing anything completely. So the greedy ones, the ones that are refusing and are using the constitution to protect their greediness, should be worried that now our people are going to take it upon themselves to ensure that the land is returned into the rightful owners.
Mr. Malema, who are the architects in the EFF? Who are your brains trust who decide what the strategic, the political, the social, economic vision is going to be?
Yeah, we did today introduce the Central Command Team and Provincial Command Teams, which are led by committed comrades. We have appointed a team of professionals, professors and economists who are working on our policy and looking at what is the best method without compromising this economy. So when we unveil our documents on the 19th of July on how best are we going to implement and what are the possible proposals put forward, those will be well thought of documents and not just rhetoric.
Let's talk about the money. Politics is expensive, as you know. Where's your money coming from?
We don't have money. What drives us is a political will, the commitment.
Political will doesn't buy websites, doesn't buy chairs in halls.
Of course, people are beginning to volunteer. I mean, after the press conference today, I went to support the workers in Pretoria from Marikana. And an ordinary worker who you can see that this comrade is very poor, but he comes and says, you comrades open a bank account. Even if I put 10 rand, I will encourage other of my comrades to put 10 rand and we can finance this thing out of our limited resources. The people are willing to finance their own revolution.
I mean, that's an anecdote, and anecdotally speaking, some people have said, oh, Julius Malema political party, you know, it's not going to work. What do you believe you can have traction and that people will come in their masses?
Look, when we started in nationalization in the ANC, very powerful people will say, this is a joke, it can't work, and it can't even sit in the table of the ANC and all that. And they were all disappointed. It didn't only sit on the table of the ANC, it became one of the resolutions of the NGC of the ANC. There's nothing we've ever spoken about since our time in COSAS, which has never been supported by the masses on the ground. We are the ground forces, we are the foot soldiers, we are committed to go and convince our people, and so far we are happy with the response of ordinary people.
You know, I mentioned earlier, politics is a very dirty and personal game. You know, you've been part of it. Your stance against corruption, you know, is going to be measured against what happens with fraud and other charges in court. The EFF welcoming all South Africans to join will be measured against your defense and your singing of Kill the Boer, for example. What's your response to critics who say, we don't think that Malema's matured, we don't think he's evolved?
No, maturity is very relative, and others are confusing age with maturity. They are old age people who behave like 19-year-old.
Actions,
and our program of action is a very politically matured program. It responds to the needs of the people, and that's why it has received such a massive support. If it was a childish type of a program, people wouldn't have supported it.
So people shouldn't measure EFF against you. They should measure it against the objectives.
Don't look at personalities. Don't play the man, play the ball. I mean, the ball is the policies of the EFF now. And if you disagree with them, bring an alternative.
What stands in the way of registering a party? How soon will that happen?
If we resolve on the 27th to form a political party, remember we've got 3 options. And the popular one is the forming of a political party. If we agree that we are forming a political party, immediately on Monday of the 29th, we'll go and approach the IEC and do what is expected.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Julius Malema is the leader of the EFF.
News that moves. eNCA.com.